So I'm working on a 2003 Dodge Ram 3500 with a 5.9 Cummins in it, and we was losing a lot of antifreeze out of this, and we saw no obvious leaks to the upper radiator hose or the lower radiator hose or the water pump or the radiator itself or the overflow bottle. Nothing from the heater core side. So on the passenger side, there's no leaks. But when you'd open the hood, at idle, you really couldn't tell where it was coming from. But if you accelerate the engine to like 2,000 RPM or thereabouts, it literally is like raining antifreeze under here. Mostly in that area there. And I don't work on Dodges for a living. I'm, just a farm boy. But I've got a general knowledge of mechanics, and after doing a little research, I found out that there is a heat exchanger for the transmission that is located right there, right where I got my light moving around there. And you can see the black fins off the side there, and then you can see where there's a tube there that's rubber, and then the other one is a metal line. So the metal line has got the transmission fluid running through it, and the rubber tube has got the coolant flowing through it. Well, the tube on top appears to be fine. Howsoever, if we go through the side here, and you will have to take off that wheel liner in order to access this. But if you look right there, so where that hose comes up out of the heat exchanger right there, so that's the hose that's bad. And we actually never did really see the leak, but we could feel it. And there's been an updated part number for that hose. They made some kind of improvement. I'm not sure what, but they made some kind of improvement. So I just got this hose from my local dealer, and the hose is about $110. So I'm going to get started on draining the antifreeze out of the radiator and getting the coolant out and getting this hose off. And I thought I'd make a video on this because I really didn't find too many videos that was talking about this, and I didn't even know this had the heat exchanger on it in that location. So I'm hoping that this video helps somebody out there that was kind of struggling like I was. So I got this hose out, and once I got it out, you can clearly see the hole that was in this hose. That's definitely the problem. So that's a cheaper fix than replacing the heat exchanger. It was a bit tricky to get this thing out. One, you can't really see it very well, and these clamps, the trick to getting at them without taking too much stuff off, the tool that I used was this 11-inch straight long needle nose pliers, and you just use them to get on these tabs here, and you squeeze them together, and then once you got them squeezed together, you just keep wiggling and pulling, and eventually it will come off. The one that was, go around to this wheel well here and show you. The one that was to the back, right by the heat exchanger there, that one was easier to do than the one that, quite frankly, I can't even show you on the video here, but it's up in there. But this one here, all you had to do was just squeeze that needle nose pliers on that tab, and then wiggle it and pull out, and it come. This other one, we actually used a needle nose vice grip, so you could kind of squeeze on there, get a little bit more control on it, and that's how we was able to get the hose completely off. Putting the new hose on, which I do have the new hose on already, you got to be mindful of, you can kind of see right there where it says cooler, and then there's an arrow pointing towards the cooler. It's very important to have that arrow pointing towards the cooler in order for it to fit properly. The new line, it went on fine, but then these little clips, they're kind of set almost like a mouse trap. And what you got to do, you got to hold the clip with like a pry bar or something just to stabilize it, and then you'll end up putting a screwdriver in. I'll go back here by this old one to kind of show. Wish would have got it on video, but wasn't able to do that. But you put a screwdriver in like underneath this here, because that's out away from the hose a little bit on the new one. And then once that's out, then you pop another screwdriver underneath this tab here, and then that'll pop out of that hole, and then it'll just automatically tighten on there. And so that's where I'm at now. So got the hose on, so I'm ready to start filling with antifreeze and assembling the wheel liner back in, and putting the wheel on and checking for leaks and that type of thing. I've got the wheel liner installed, and that is held on by a bunch of little bolts like that one there, and then there's some on the outside here. There's one back there, and as you can see with this wheel liner on here, it doesn't give you very good access to that hose, to even to the back one there, and the front one, forget about it, you ain't gonna do it. So at this point I'm ready to put the wheel back on and take the jack stands out from underneath it and let it down and top it off with coolant and give her a go.